Hello everyone, CM Freeze here, and today I'm going to be making a video that I've wanted to do for the past 2 weeks now, but unfortunately I've been sick and I've been editing other videos and whatnot, so this video got delayed. It also surprisingly took more time than I thought it would to set up this video, but today I'm going to be ranking every single Sunday Night Football game. What exactly do I mean by I'm going to rank every single Sunday Night Football game? Well, for starters, there's only 17 Sunday Night Football games, so I guess there'll be one in Week 18. But so you can see on the left there, Week 1 through Week 17, I'm going to be ranking all of those games. I'm going to be ranking them on how good of a game I think it's going to be. Ranking them on what is the best game, what is the best matchup. And now there's two criteria I'm going to be using for this. Number one is the storylines going into the game. All of the pregame stuff, all of the pregame matchups. Is it a Super Bowl matchup, which surprisingly Kansas City versus the 49ers is just a regular game on Sunday. I think it's like an afternoon game. It's not even a primetime game, which is weird. But just what are the storylines going into it? And secondly, how good I think the actual game itself is going to be. So for starters, are their storylines going to be good enough for me to even turn on the game in the first place? And second, do I think it's going to be a good game? Because there are games that could have some great storylines going into it, but it still could be a blowout. Like when Tom Brady went back to New England, and he still killed them, because the Patriots sucked at that point. So what I'm going to be doing is ranking every single Sunday Night Football game based on how good of a game I think it's going to be. And dead last, worst game, I think, is going to be Week 17, Bengals at Giants. I just think the Bengals are absolutely going to kill the Giants this game. There's no real storylines going into this. I guess, DJ Reader? He even went to the Lions. I don't even know what I'm talking about. There's no storylines, really. There's no storylines, and I think the Bengals are going to kill the Giants here in Week 6. Maybe the Giants can pull off an upset, but this is Sunday Night Football, right? This is the cream of the crop. The best teams are supposed to be playing here, and the New York Giants, I just don't think have a shot. Who knows? Maybe this game could be a lot better. This is me saying this months before the games even happen, but I just think the Bengals are going to kill them. Coming in at number 16, literally the next week, is Jets at Steelers. Now, good God, this game could absolutely suck. I love games that are, I would say a great game is 28-27. I think 28-27 is like the best game you could imagine, where there's lots of scoring, but not too much scoring, and the defense are still making some plays. I want a heated battle where scores are going back and forth. That Chiefs and Buffalo Bills divisional game that happened where the Chiefs with 10 seconds left got a field goal to send it overtime and they went and scored? That's like the best game imaginable, I think, where there's constant scoring back and forth, but still some good defense mixed in there as well. Both these teams have really bad offenses and really good defenses. This could be like a 10-7 boring game. Now, I understand the Jets last season had a really good defense, but their offense sucked. They had Zach Wilson. But let's have a serious conversation here. How much better is the Jets offense really going to be? Truly, how much better is the Jets offense going to be? Yes, they went out and they got some guys. Aaron Rodgers is coming back, but who knows how Aaron Rodgers is going to be? He didn't play for an entire season. And before that, his last year in Green Bay wasn't his best season as well. And the Jets, their offensive line still sucks. Yes, I understand that they signed Tyron Smith to a 1-year contract. He's been injury prone. When's the last time the guy had a full healthy season? He could get hurt. Yes, I really like that they drafted Ole Fashanu in the first round. I think he'll be a stud for them. But who knows if he's even going to play this first season. They might slide him into left guard or something, right guard, because they went and they signed 2 tackles, but 2 older tackles. And then offensively, they went and they signed Mike Williams, who also is an injury-prone wide receiver. By Week 7, the big acquisitions the Jets have gotten, Mike Williams, Tyron Smith, and bringing back Aaron Rodgers, they all could be hurt again. We don't know. With the information that I have right now, I don't like the Jets. I truly don't. I think this is going to be such a boring game, especially the Steelers, who again have a great defense, trash offense. This literally could be a 10-7, 10-9 kind of game. I hope I'm wrong. I hope all these games are good, but just with the information I have, God, this game could be such a boring snooze fest to watch. Plus, no storylines going into it. Coming in at number 15, for the same reason, can't you tell? I really don't like the Jets. I really do not like the Jets. Now, the Colts, I think, are a better opponent than the Steelers. At least the Colts could give the Jets something offensively. But just the Jets being here in general makes me put this game down. This is also the Colts' only primetime game, interesting enough. It's Thursday and Monday included. The Colts only got one primetime game, and it's here in Week 11 at the Jets. The Colts have some returning pieces. Anthony Richardson could have a really good second year. This could be a much better game than Game 15. I'd also like to specify, I don't think this is going to be a bad game. The only games that I truly think are going to be bad was Week 17 and Week 16. Now, starting from here on out, I think every single game is actually going to be a good game. It's just every other game we're going to see is going to be better. Like I said, prime time is when you get the cream of the crop teams. Both these teams didn't even make the playoffs last season. Could they make the playoffs this season? Sure, but I don't think either of these teams are Super Bowl contenders. After this, we're going to start getting into Super Bowl contending teams with good storylines. It's not that I think this is going to be a bad game at all. It's just every other game is going to be better than this game. Which, coming in at number 14, is the Cowboys at the Steelers. Again, as you can tell, I'm not really liking these defensive games. I think that this game's probably going to be like a 20-17 kind of game. So, not too defensive, but I don't think it's going to be really that high scoring. Dallas Cowboys are at the Steelers. I think if it was the other way around, then the Cowboys would kind of kill the Steelers. But in Pittsburgh, this could end up being a pretty actually solid game. Better than the last couple of games. Just who knows what's going to happen with the Cowboys this season, especially in Week 5. They've lost a good amount of pieces, and like I said, that Steelers team, that could just be a mess offensively, especially with how good the Cowboys defense has potential to be. We'll see what happens in this game. Coming in at number 13 is Chargers at Chiefs. Finally, an actual storyline for a Sunday night football game. Division rivals. Chargers and Chiefs always seem to come down to the wire. They always seem to be a good game. Chiefs usually always win, but the games usually always come down to the wire. Chargers now have Harbaugh joining them. Completely new team. They completely gutted that offense. Sorry, my dog's with me. He just sneezed. Chargers just completely gutted their offense. Let's see what's going to happen with their new look offense with Harbaugh. It seems they're going to be run first, but they still got Herbert, a top 10 quarterback. So I'm truly interested to see what's going to happen. It's this low because right now, if you were to ask me who's going to win this game, I'd say the Chiefs are going to slaughter them. But we'll have to see. Chiefs are also home too. Maybe if it was in LA, it could be a different story. But later in the season too, Patrick Mahomes is going to be cooking with gas. This could be a killing for the Chargers here. But I have hope that the Chargers can maybe make this a good game. Coming in at number 12 is Bucks at Cowboys. This kind of has a storyline because I know that they just played each other in the playoffs. I think 2 years ago they played each other in the playoffs. Brady's last playoff game, the Dallas Cowboys beat them. Now here we are 2 years later, happening in week 16 too. So it's one of the final weeks. So this honestly could be a game that matters for both teams. Both teams could be on the edge in their division with only 2 weeks left to go. This could be a big game for both teams, who I don't think are a step above some of their division rivals. I think it's going to be Cowboys versus Eagles again. This could be the game that if Dallas loses it, then they're out of the NFC East competition. Buccaneers, they're going to probably be right in it with Atlanta and the Saints. This could be a big game for them too. If they lose, they could be out of contention for the NFC South. I think that this game is between two, I wouldn't say evenly matched teams. The Cowboys should win this game, but I think the Buccaneers could be good enough to beat the Cowboys. Who knows how the Cowboys are going to look this year? They lost Dan Quinn. They lost a lot of their defensive pieces. Offensively, CeeDee Lamb doesn't want to come back. They don't really have many weapons behind CeeDee Lamb. They don't have a running back. Cowboys lost their starting left tackle. Who knows how good the Cowboys are going to be this season? And I think the Bucks and the Cowboys could very well be on very similar levels. Coming in at number 11 is the Jaguars at the Eagles. This was probably the second hardest matchup for me to pick, just because I have no clue how good the Jaguars are going to be. Truly, I have no clue how good the Jaguars are going to be. I know this offseason, they kind of went all out. They signed, who's that really good D tackle that they signed? Arik Armstead from the 49ers. Yeah, they went and they signed Arik Armstead. In the draft, they got Brian Thomas Jr., who can make an immediate impact for the Jaguars. They also went and they got Gabe Davis. This Jaguars team could be really good. Key emphasis on good because I still do not trust Trevor Lawrence to save my life. I do not trust Trevor Lawrence. Not to mention the Jags offensive line isn't that good, and they did not address it whatsoever. So there you got Trevor Lawrence, who knows how really good he is. Who knows how good Trevor Lawrence is, because he's looked so shaky. Trash rookie season, really good second season, took a step back in year 3. Who knows what you're getting with Trevor Lawrence. That defense also, you would think on paper, got better. They got Ark Armstead. That front 7 is phenomenal. Secondary, though, is a little shaky. Didn't really address the secondary. That secondary still definitely needs some help. So who knows how hard that front 7 is going to carry that secondary. I don't know how good the Jaguars are going to be. I truly don't. I think if this was in Jacksonville, this game could be better. I don't know how good Jacksonville is going to be. This is hard for me to rank. There's no storylines here. We'll watch this game. It's against 2, you would think, good teams. But who knows how good Jacksonville is truly going to be. This could either be a slaughtering or a really good game. So I had to put it here at 11 because there's no definitive, I know this team's going to be good. Coming in at number 10, Chiefs at Falcons. Now, if you know me, I'm a huge Atlanta Falcons fan. If I was judging this based on how likely I'm going to watch the game, this would be number 1. Or how excited I am for a game, this would obviously be number 1. The Falcons haven't had a Sunday Night Football game since 2020. Not even kidding when I say that. 2023, we had no primetime games. 2022, we had one primetime game, and it was Thursday Night Football. And in 2021, the Falcons also only had one primetime game, and it was a Thursday night game. So literally in the last 3 seasons, the Atlanta Falcons have only had 2 primetime games, both of them Thursday night games. So this is unique to me. I have not seen the Falcons play in primetime in the last 3 years. It was 2020 since the last time they played Sunday Night Football. And they're back. It's their only Sunday Night Football game. And of course, it's against the defending Super Bowl champions. Why would it not be? Why would our first time in Sunday Night Football not be against literally the back-to-back 2-time Super Bowl champions, so everyone could see how the Atlanta Falcons get crushed on national football at home in Week 3? And they had to make it Week 3 too. Why couldn't have this been later in the season when we actually maybe were better? Falcons probably going to lose, but at least it's at home. This could be a good game for all I know. Who knows? This could be a good game. Falcons finally back in prime time. This probably should be lower, but my bias is putting this higher. Whatever. Bills at Ravens. If you would have asked me last year, this game would probably be top 5. Even better. But it's time to have a serious conversation, everyone. How good are the Buffalo Bills going to be? Let's really talk about this. How good are the Bills going to be? They gutted almost their entire team this offseason. Their defense, basically all gone. Their offense, they lost Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. You want to know who they just picked to be their number 1 wide receiver? Keon Coleman. They traded back twice. They could have had Xavier Liggety. They could have had Xavier Worthy. I think there's even another wide receiver drafted in front of them too. The Bills decided to trade down and let all these other wide receivers go in front of them. Apparently, Keon Coleman was their guy. I don't know what the Bills are doing. I truly don't. That offensive line isn't that good. When you look at the Bills, yes, they have really good tight end that they picked up last season, Dalton Kincaid. I guess they got Keon Coleman. But if you take away Josh Allen, that's not a good team. You're lucky that you got Josh Allen, a top 5 quarterback. If you didn't have Josh Allen, this would be really shaky. And the Bills could end up being the new Chargers. If you look at Justin Herbert and what Justin Herbert has had to deal with, Justin Herbert's putting up 30 points a game, but his defense can't make a stop. The Buffalo Bills had to gut their entire defense. I think Tre'Davious White left too. Did he not? Yeah, their best corner, Tre'Davious White, also left. The Bills cut their entire secondary. Who knows how good this Bills team's going to be, and they're going to play at Ravens Week 4. The Ravens could slaughter them. This could be an absolute slaughtering on Sunday Night Football. Josh Allen is the only reason that the Bills are even in this conversation, because he's a top 5 quarterback. Only reason. If Josh Allen wasn't playing and it was someone like Kyler Murray or something, they would lose by 30 points. So who knows? I don't know how good the Bills are going to be. The Bills could suck, and in Baltimore, the Bills could lose by 20 plus points. But there are storylines here. Both these teams are really good teams, division winners. We'll see what happens, but Bills could get smoked, man. Number 8 is I got Miami Dolphins at the Cleveland Browns. Now, this is in Week 17. This is literally the last Sunday Night Football game that's not Week 18, so this is the last one that I could predict. This could be a massive game being in Week 17. Both these teams could be fighting for wild card spots at this point. The Dolphins could be fighting for the division, honestly. The Dolphins could be in a scenario where they win this game, they win their division. The Browns, I don't think are going to be in that situation. I think the Browns are going to be probably fighting for a wild card spot just because they got the Bengals and the Ravens in their division. But the Browns could be fighting to keep their playoff hopes alive, and the Dolphins could be fighting for a potential chance to win their division in this game. This could be a massive game. The Browns, as we know, have a great defense. They have a lot of good pieces on offense. I think they just got Jerry Jeudy too. Who knows what's happening at the quarterback position, man? Deshaun Watson has looked like trash since doing some not nice things to some ladies. Did they bring back Joe Flacco? I don't know. I honestly don't know who's behind Deshaun Watson. Whoever it is probably could be better than Deshaun Watson, but that's not good when I don't even know who the backup quarterback is for the Browns. So I actually just looked it up, and it is Jameis Winston. That could be interesting. The Browns, it's going to be tough, man. Who knows how good the Browns are going to be, especially in Week 17. Injuries could be a thing, but thinking that both teams are going to be healthy, I think that this game is going to be right on the edge. It being in Week 17 definitely helps. If this was probably like an earlier game, it might be a little bit lower on the list. But since it is Week 17, there are good storylines that would probably get me to watch this game. And also the Dolphins are always a lot of fun to watch with all their high-powered offense. Coming in at number 7, I got 49ers at Buffalo. Again, same exact reason. Now a little bit different because Buffalo is home. And it's in Week 13, which is in December. So this could also be a snowy game as well, depending on how the weather is. It's at least going to be cold. Buffalo could have some home court advantage here, especially with the 49ers being obviously in California. But again, just like last time, who knows how good Buffalo's going to be. We obviously know how good the 49ers are. They're defending Super Bowl champs. Yeah, they lost some pieces, but not too much. Ark Armstead's the big one that I can think of. Just who knows? Like I said, if you asked me last year, this honestly could be in the top 3 with how good of a matchup this is. But Buffalo is not going to be the Buffalo that they've been the last couple of years. Buffalo had to cut a lot of their guys, and Buffalo could honestly be in a rebuild year this year. We'll see what happens. Best case scenario, I think Buffalo is like 10-7. Best case scenario. But worst case scenario, Buffalo could be like 7-10. You know, at this point in the season, they could be like 5-8, you know? We'll just have to see. Now, coming in at number 6, Cowboys at 49ers. The storylines alone are going to get you to watch this game. It's the Cowboys versus the 49ers. 49ers have kind of owned the Cowboys in recent years, but if you go back in the day, that was some of the best matchups of all time, was Cowboys and 49ers. They were constantly playing each other. And now here we are in the new age. It's at 49ers. I think the Cowboys are probably going to lose this game, but just still, they hate each other. Cowboys and 49ers truly hate each other. This will be a big-time game. I will be watching this game. And now we're finally getting to the top 5. And in Week 12, you got the Eagles versus the Rams. Not many storylines here, but I think both these teams are evenly matched. It's later in the season. Rams are at home. The Rams could, yes, the Rams lost Aaron Darnold. They took a big hit in losing Aaron Donald. But in the offseason, and especially in the draft, they went and they got Jared Verse, and they also got Brian Frisk, his teammate out of Florida State. 2 great players to try to... You aren't going to replace the production that Aaron Donald gave you, but they got 2 players at least instead of 1, but I guess that was kind of Aaron Donald. Rams also got Tre'Davious White. I just found that out. The Rams defense, they're adding pieces to it. That offense still is Puka Nacua. They still have Puka. They still have that really good running back, Williams. Decent offensive line. They still got Stafford. They still got Sean McVay. Still got Cooper Kupp. Hopefully Cooper Kupp's going to be healthier this season than he was last season. I know he's pretty banged up. This Rams team has the potential to be really good. They're at home. This could be a phenomenal matchup between, I think, 2 pretty evenly matched teams. I think the Eagles are slightly better, probably a little bit better, but the Rams are home. It is Sunday night. Sean McVay is the Rams head coach. He's definitely a better coach than Sirianni from the Eagles. This will be a great game. Remember when I said that the Eagles-Jaguars was the second hardest game for me to place? Bears Texans week 2 was the hardest. I bounced around putting this way farther back, but the more I thought about it, damn, I'm going to be watching this game. This is a storyline game. Caleb Williams, number 1 draft pick, one of the most hyped up draft prospects in a long time, whose quarterback comparison was Patrick Mahomes, who, when you look at his draft stock and when you look at scouts and what they say about him, his issues are off the field issues. Some people don't like that he paints his nails or that he cries. Okay. Caleb Williams was a beast at USC. He had no help defensively. Now let's see what happens in the NFL. He's going up against the Texans, who the Texans are a team that went all in this year. The Texans are truly Super Bowl or bust this season. And if CJ Stroud has another year like he does last year, or even takes a step up, this Texans team could legit be a Super Bowl team. I'm not even kidding when I say that. If CJ Stroud takes a step up, you look at everything the Texans did in the offseason. They went and they got Stephon Diggs now. They already had a great wide receiver core. They went and got Stephon Diggs. They went and got Joe Mixon. So they upgraded at wide receiver. They upgraded at running back. Defensively, they got better as well. They went and they got the guy from the Vikings, Danielle Hunter, to pair with Will Anderson Jr. The Texans got some big boy players at big boy positions. They're going all in. The Texans truly are going all in. And week 2, right off the gate, second week, prime time, we're going to see how good is Caleb Williams, and are the Texans truly going to be as good as they're saying they are? This is going to be a great game. I will be watching it. This is the Bears' only Sunday night football game. Week 2 at Texans, the Super Bowl team. It's going to be tough. Caleb Williams is literally getting thrown into the fire right away, and we're going to see how good he does with that pressure. Coming in at week 3 is I got Packers at Seattle. This might be the most evenly matched game out of all the games that we've seen so far. Most evenly matched. It's at Seattle too, which I think is better because I think the Packers slightly have an edge on the Seattle Seahawks. In Seattle, weather could be shitty. Also, as we know, the Packers and Seahawks have some storylines to them. As you all know, there was the that touchdown play, the Hail Mary with the fake refs. Packers and Seahawks have some bad blood. They seem to always be playing each other. They don't like one another. They're rivals, even though they aren't division rivals. They don't like one another. It's no more Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. It's now Love and Geno Smith. So we'll see what happens this game. But week 15 too, later in the season, like I said, this could be a big boy game. Teams could be playing for wild card spots or even divisional spots. The Packers could be fighting for a division spot against the Detroit Lions here. This could be a big game. I like that it's later in the season. Both these teams are very evenly matched, I think. This will be a great game. Coming in at number 2, literally week 1, Rams at Lions. Rematch of the Detroit Lions' first playoff win in 30 years. It's again at Detroit, just like it was last year. Instantly right off the bat, Sunday Night Football, we got a rematch. That game was great. What was it, 24-23, something like that? I know it was a 3-point game, maybe even less than a 3-point game. Literally, that game came down to the wire. And the Detroit Lions, this is going to be a test for them. How much better did the Detroit Lions get in the offseason? Dan Campbell came out and said, hey, it's going to be twice as hard for us to get back to the NFC Championship. They went out and they got Terrion Arnold in the first. They got Ryan Shaw Jr. in the second. They went all in on that defense. Let's see how much better this Lions defense is. The Rams also went better on the defense. These are two teams that didn't really do much in the offense. Their offense is going to stay the same, but they went and got pieces on that defense. New look defenses for both teams. This will be a great game, especially in week 1, first Sunday Night Football of the year. We already got a heavy hitter matchup. It's going to be great. Coming in at number 1, Lions at Texans. This, honestly, could be a preview of the Super Bowl. I'm not saying it's going to be. There's a lot of factors. But I think the Lions and Texans, if they play as good as they did last year, and the acquisitions that they acquired help them, these could be two teams that make it to the Super Bowl. You look at the Lions. Literally, choked away the game against the 49ers. What was it? A 21-point lead that they choked away against the 49ers. We're up by 3 scores in the third quarter and lost that game. Lions should have made it to the Super Bowl. Let's be real clear. They choked away that game. But now they only got better in the offseason. In the offseason, they went out and they got some big defensive acquisitions, like I just said. They went and they got pieces on that secondary. They went and they got DJ Reader to bolster that defensive line. The Lions upgraded their defense, which was definitely their weak spot. Their offense is still the same. They got running back from Alabama, going into his second year. They got Jameson Williams from Alabama, trying to continue to upgrade. They still got Amon-Ra St. Brown. This team could end up being a really, really good team. And the Texans, I already talked about them too with all of their acquisitions. Both teams were really good last year. They only got better in the off season. This truly could be what I'm talking about, that 28-27 game. This could be a game it comes down to the last drive. Whoever has the ball last wins. This will be a high-powered offense team with still some good defenders that can make some defensive plays. I will be watching it. It's right in the middle of the season too. This will be a great game. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my list in the comments below. Let me know if there are games that you think should be higher or lower. And thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.